Well, everybody, I can't think of a better way to celebrate the holiday season in appliance fashion than to bake some cookies. So, this is kind of a tradition that I have. I don't know why, because I don't really cook. I'm not a very good cook, but I can really make some good cookies, and I'm going to share my recipe with you, which is pretty simple. It's nothing special. It's not like a family recipe. I actually use the Nestle Toll House recipe with just a few minor variations, and they turn out really great. Everybody loves my cookies. To make it kind of like a little vintage theme, I am using my brand new, well, not so new anymore, but this is a Mixmaster Model 11. And this one I bought at a garage sale. It was brand spanking new in the box. It was never used. The grease was totally like dried inside, so it didn't work. But after I took it apart and kind of scraped the old grease out and put some fresh grease in, it now works absolutely perfect. And thanks to a couple of people on automaticwasher.org, I was able to get some extra attachments for it. So I now have the meat grinder, the salad shredder thingy, cheese grater, a milkshake mixer, all sorts of good stuff. There's also an orange juicer too for the top of it. Really cool. Anyways, so to do this, to make cookies basically, and I know probably a lot of you know how to make cookies, but this is going to be kind of a somewhat of an idiot's guide to making cookies, because I'm not very good at cooking or baking for that matter. But I feel like I perfected the cookie baking process. This is going to be geared towards, maybe like guys who don't know how to cook, or even women who don't know how to cook, which I'm sure there's very few. But you need just like the basic stuff. So you need to get all the recipe ingredients that it requires, which is 2.25 cups flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt, 2 sticks of butter, 3/4 cup granulated sugar, 3/4 cup brown sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 2 large eggs, and 2 cups of the morsels. I don't like putting nuts in my cookies, so let's get started. So we're gonna mix all the dry ingredients into one bowl, and then we'll start mixing the moist ingredients into another bowl, and then we'll start mixing everything together. So you should wind up with some pretty creamy, wonderful, sticky, gooey cookie dough. Now don't eat it all before you bake it. But this is the most important part, guys, and this is where my recipe differs a little bit than the Toll House. So I'm going to actually take this cookie dough and I'm going to put it into this small bowl, and I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator overnight. And what happens is, first of all, you give your cookie dough practically 24 hours so all the flavors can commingle with each other. And secondly, your dough gets cold. So when you put your dough into the cookie sheets, it goes into the oven pretty cold. And it will wind up with a nice, tall, soft cookie. Now, if that's what you don't like, then you want your dough to be warmer and stick it in the oven, and you'll have a flat, crispy cookie. But if you're the type of person like me that likes kind of like a tall, moist, delicious cookie, then stick it in the refrigerator overnight, and then from the refrigerator go straight into the oven. You're going to want to bake for, okay, so it says 9 to 11 minutes. This is where you kind of have to know your oven. I'm actually cooking on a new to me oven back here at the shop, so I'm not really 100% sure about how it's going to work out. I'm going to take a pretty educated guess, and I'm going to go for 9.5 minutes, and I'm going to look through the window and see what they look like after 9.5 minutes. Now, one thing that's really important, guys, is to not open the oven door when you're baking cookies. Every time you open the door, you let out like 30% of the heat, and you'll wind up with either an undercooked or an overcooked cookie, depending on the heat cycle of the oven. You just got to trust your clock. Once you nail down the time, that's it. Let it go. Don't bother with it. Just put the stuff in the oven, set your timer, walk away, and then come back when the timer's done. I'm going to get this stuff ready, and I'm going to get it in the fridge, and then I'm actually going to make one more batch without refrigerating it because, well, I feel like making cookies today, and I don't want to wait till tomorrow. Perfect. We'll stick this in the fridge overnight, and then we'll get right to it. So just so you guys know, I can't believe I forgot. I put these aluminum trays in the dishwasher. Don't put aluminum trays in the dishwasher, though. You'll ruin them instantly. So guys, if you have a convection oven, you could actually put both racks in at the same time. If you don't have a convection oven, you probably still could, but you really got to watch it because usually the bottom will cook faster than the top. But if you have a convection oven, that would be fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these in after I lick my fingers.